When you're getting ready to start RV life and you've watched all the RV YouTubers, you think that your RV life is going to be all rainbows and butterflies. Oh, but it's not. There are more challenges along the way.
Hi, I'm Dwight.
And I'm Connie.
And together we're
Beck's
Backroads. We travel the back roads and trails to find the unique, the beautiful, and the sights that not everyone gets to see.
Come join us on our next Backroads adventure.
So it came time to leave Calico, or Yermo, California, and head to our next stop, which was going to be Cedar City, Utah. And from there, we were going to head up to around Bridger, Wyoming, which is on the 80 freeway. And I had a discussion with my son, and he said, "Dad, do you know the 80 freeway is the most windy freeway and has the most rollovers in the United States?" And wow, I never thought about looking at weather. Well, that actually turned out to be a challenge for us. So that's how we decided to stop in Provo and a port in the storm. So now it's time to leave Yermo, California and make our way up to Provo. One of the famous stops is always Baker and the large thermometer that's there. But once you get past Baker, you start to make your way out into the desert and you come across this off-ramp that I pronounce it Zizix, which I think is how you pronounce it. And everybody wonders what that is. It's one of those developer off-ramps. Some developer had an idea of starting a city out in the middle of nowhere. And so he named the road Zizix. So he wanted that to be the very last road name in the roads in the United States. Kind of a weird name, probably kind of a weird guy. So we continued our journey, and then you come across this as you're just getting ready to cross the Nevada border. What in the world are those bright lights that you can see during the day? Well, that happens to be a solar farm out there. And a lot of controversy. It's actually, I believe, to be one of the largest solar farms in the United States. And actually, the operators of the solar farm and the national government wanted to close it because it wasn't profitable. However, the state of California forced them to keep it open because they needed the power for their grid. Well, as you get ready to enter into Nevada, you start to come up to Primm. And then, of course, about that time, we were in need of gas. And that's something that's always a challenge for me when I have to go through the truck stops.
Having fun yet, Dwight?
Not at all. Gassing these things up at a truck stop is not my forte yet. Need a little work on that.
And then once you leave Primm, it's just a short drive to Las Vegas. And believe it or not, we didn't get a lot of footage in Las Vegas, but I'll tell you, I hate to drive through there, particularly with an RV. So as you leave Vegas and you're heading north, out up into towards St. George, Utah, the scenery definitely changes along the way, and you get ready. It's kind of a weird deal. You leave, there's portions of it around Mesquite where you're in Arizona, and then you're back in Nevada, and then you get ready to go back into Arizona, and then you come up to the Arizona-Utah border. And then finally, there it was. We made the border crossing, and we're in Utah heading to Cedar City. And of course, along the way, we passed a sign that said Hurricane, Utah. Well, Hurricane is kind of a curious place for us because that's where one of our favorite YouTube channels is located out of, Matt's Off-Road Recovery. And then as we get past Hurricane, then we start to notice that the scenery starts to change and we start to get into kind of maybe a prairie farmland, I guess you would call it. So we found this little RV park named Cedar Canyon RV Retreat. And it really was. It was nice. It was kind of off the beaten path, just a nice quiet little spot, and we really enjoyed our time there. But the one other benefit about being there at Cedar Canyon was it had the back road to get into Bryce Canyon. So we thought, hey, why not? Let's take the short hour and 15-minute drive to Bryce Canyon and check that out. We've never been there before, and we're sure glad we did. We enjoyed our time there. In the future, we'll be doing a whole series on the Mighty 5 National Parks of Utah. So once we finished our time at Cedar Canyon and Cedar City, it was time to head up to Provo, where we were going to find our port in a storm from the wind. And as we were getting into the area where our RV park was, we started to see all these gas station signs. What in the world could that be? Well, after we got set up, we wanted to go check it out. So we set off to find out what those gas station signs were all about. Then we ran across this. And why would this be special? Well, that little green bug brought back memories because Connie's first car was a little green bug. We were amazed. We found this little museum of gas station signs. And it was really a fun time to walk around and see all these things. And then we continued there were more and more gas station and oil company memorabilia that you could shake a stick at.
Bob's Big Boy up there on top. That brings back memories, doesn't it, Dwight?
Big Boy. Every Sunday night after church, going to the Big Boy.
In Texaco, we always saw the Texaco gas stations wherever we went.
Yep.
Well, one of my favorite things to look at along the way was the tops of the gas stations, and they are a lot of them. And here are a couple of my favorite ones I really enjoyed seeing. I think they're really unique. They're almost like a piece of art right now. Then we ran into these two fellows who were ready to gas up our tank. Well, I think Connie was trying to make friends with one to kind of get some cheap gas, but that didn't work out. So later that day, we made our way to another spot in Provo.
Hey, here we are at Bridal Veil Falls, our very first waterfall that we've seen while we are RVing. It's a beautiful site just outside of Salt Lakes, just outside of Provo near BYU. And we had an enjoyable time driving through the campus to get here. And it is definitely worth the drive, short drive, if you're in the Provo area.
Hey, we've had a great time today. We visited two attractions today. One of them was the AAA Museum and Storage, which had all sorts of petroleum and gas station memorabilia from times gone by. And then right now we're at Bridal Veil Falls, which is just outside of Provo. And just two things, and both of those did not cost us any money. And that's the great thing when you travel the back roads. You get to see sites that you don't always have to spend money on, and yet still have a great day of adventure when you're on the back roads. Then we made this discovery, Holy Tacos. And boy, were they good. They were so good. I think we hit that place up 2 times while we were staying there. They have one type of taco and barbacoa. We sure enjoyed our time when we went back to Holy Tacos. That was some good eats. So it was time to leave Provo and get back on the road. And of course, when you're doing that, you head up a pretty steep incline to where a ski slope area is. The landscape changes, and again, another beautiful day of travel. So then we finally crossed the border into Wyoming, a state that both Connie and I really haven't been into a lot, so we were looking forward to that. You want to talk about flat. That was flat. Well, we found this little RV park in Rawlins, Wyoming, and it was a great place to stop for a night. Plenty of room, easy to get in and out of. And once you think you've got it all together, suddenly you see this guy pulling his fifth wheel with a diesel truck. And besides that, his fifth wheel had 6 slides on it. I couldn't imagine that. Well, it was a beautiful time to be there. The night sky was great and really provided a tranquil setting after a long day of travel. So then we made our way to Casper, Wyoming. We found this place called Fire Rock, and if you are ever in Casper, Wyoming, you have got to go to this place. This is great food, great steaks, and we just really enjoyed that. And a couple times after this, when we stopped in Casper, we always made sure to stop back at Fire Rock Grill. We were back on the road the next day, and we were making our way into South Dakota. Welcome to South Dakota, our new residence. And once again, a lot of landscape changes, but it was beautiful country, and we were glad to be getting to the place, our new place, where we were going to call home. Well, in our next video, we're going to talk about what it's like to go through the domicile process. And what the domicile process is becoming a resident of the state and not necessarily living in that state. And we were going to do that in Spearfish, South Dakota. And so we're going to talk about that and just show you a little bit around Spearfish and some of the surrounding areas. It's a really cool area, one of our favorite places to be. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, a like, and ring the bell. And maybe think about subscribing. We'd appreciate that. And leave us a comment about what you thought about this video, or anything else, other comments you want to leave. We'd appreciate that. Thanks for watching.